Welcome in, everybody, live here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel, getting ready to go racing here tonight at the Stafford Motor Speedway for the I-85 Asphalt Series WHELEN Modified Division Dash for Cash race number 8 of 10. We'll have 2 more. And after this, it is going to be an absolute thriller all the way to the ending. We are here at Stafford Springs, Connecticut, at the half-mile legendary short track in North America. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to go racing here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel? Ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be Dash for Cash race number 8, and nobody here tonight is having an opportunity looking better than some of the guys that we have out here in the field, ladies and gentlemen, as qualifying is currently underneath its way. Welcome into the main broadcast cam here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. The Dash for Cash race number 8. 80 laps. We'll have 2 heat races right around the corner for you, scheduled for 15 laps apiece. And see if we can't get the overlays reloaded up for you, ladies and gentlemen. And it looks like we got a small field, about 10 cars here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel, but it's okay. We've had less, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like we got 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 more guys that yet to turn laps here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel's Northeast Shootout at the Stafford Speedway. As we bring in the scoring tower here tonight, we got about, we'll call it about 35, maybe 40 seconds left in of the qualifying session. This will allow us to bring up, the points session for how the season has ran out. These are the top 10 drivers, with the first driver out of the Dash for Cash. If you didn't know how it worked out, $5 entry fee for the entire season, got you a 10-race schedule, and if you're within these top 10 in points, you will receive a payout. The payouts range from somewhere maybe between $70, $80, maybe $100 on down, into the purse is absolutely distributed between everybody. Michael Johnson leads them in the points with his win on the year, as well as Patrick McPeak trailing not far behind with his 2 wins. It's been really sporadic, I shall say, here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel when it has come to the wins and all of the other kind of chaoses. Ladies and gentlemen, we got our heat race getting ready to take place here tonight on the pole. Driving the number 6, Zach Evans. He'll share it with Mike Doyle, Patrick McPeak, Throckmorton. We'll go door to door in second row. Third row, we'll go to Evans and Glauser. Moore, Hall will round out the 4th row, with the 5th row being rounded out by the admins that are on the scheduled racetrack here tonight. That means we had 2 more drivers that were our fast 2 that went automatically straight to the program of the main event of the 80 lappers, scheduled right around the corner. This will give us the perfect opportunity to get tonight's starting introductions kicked off. And on the pole, driving that number 6 modified from Princeton, North Carolina, it's Zach Evans. Starting in the 2nd place spot here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel, driving the 00 here in heat race number 1. This will be the only heat race here tonight from Middletown, New Jersey, right up here in the Northeast area, Mike Doyle. Driving the number 61 modified, the orange and black modified on the Booty Scoot Racing channel's Mountain Area, North Carolina, 2-time winner this season, Patrick McPeak. Starting in the 4th place position, driving the number 72 Triple S Throckmorton modified from South Boston, Virginia, it is going to be Ace Throckmorton. Driving the number 48 White and Orange Hooters modified from Crawfordsville, Indiana, it's going to be Aaron Evans. On the outside of him will be the number 82 Baltic, Connecticut driver, Cody Klauser. Driving that number 919 modified, the number blue MGK Trucking modified, the 7th place position of Josh Moore. Starting in the 8th place position here tonight's modified heat race, driving the weekend woodsman number 18, been steady fast all year long, Nate Hall. Ladies and gentlemen, kicking off tonight's starting introductions here at the Stafford Motor Speedway, getting ready to take on the Northeast Shootout. These drivers have packed in here with their friends and family crewmates. The fans are packed out here tonight. What's going to be an epic 15-lap heat race headed your way. We'll see if Peter the Base Car will take at least one more lap around the beautiful Stafford Motor Speedway. And if he'll do so, that'll give us the time and opportunity to bring up tonight's keys of the race. And he'll do just that. Ladies and gentlemen, maximize the points is going to be key number 1 here tonight. Use that Nerf bar. If you're not beating and banging here tonight, you're probably going to be stuck somewhere on the bottom, pushing somebody you don't want to. Protect the bottom lane is going to be key number 3. A very, very tough track to pass at here tonight. And finally, you're going to want to survive your racing here tonight at the Stafford Motor Speedway. We'll get you back down here on the main broadcast cam where looks like we're maybe set ready to go racing here tonight in the heat race for the Northeast Shootout live at the Stafford Motor Speedway. Doyle, Evans on the front row, green flag in the air. You have yourself a virtual heat race here tonight for 15 laps in Connecticut. Climb of the banking, working off the exit of turn 2. Zach Evans grabs the race lead quickly, and he'll be the Nerf bar behind on Mike Doyle. And it looks like Patrick McPeak, the number 61 modified, will snag the second place position. Fourth place belongs to Ace Throckmorton, but he wants more. He's on the inside of the 00. But Mike Doyle, the battle down into turn 1 and 2. 14 laps to go already. It's going to pick off really, really quickly. These guys are going to have to be up and moving all night long. The number 82 of Cody Klauser slides it down on the bottom side of the 00 of Mike Doyle. They'll battle the Nerf bar off the exit of turn 4. Nobody going to spare each other an inch here tonight, knowing that the pay window for the payouts is just right around the corner. 2 races after this remain on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. We'll have all that information for you later here tonight when we head on over. We'll have the remaining schedule at the 80-lap event. Ladies and gentlemen, Zach Evans looking to grab a heat race win here tonight. He's got 2 or 3 of them on the regular season, and that's probably maybe what's kept him in the point standings up to this so far up to this point. Ladies and gentlemen, got a whole new format that we debuted this year in Season 3 of the WHELEN Modified, and from what we have gathered and understand up to this point, that there should be a Season 4 announcement heading right around the corner. Maybe next broadcast or so we'll have those information out, fully decked out for you guys. However, though, 11 laps remain here in the Northeast Shootout live at the Stafford Speedway in Connecticut. Nerf bar bang there from the Triple S Throckmorton 72 machine of Ace Throckmorton. He's going Nerf bar with Aaron Evans. Aaron Evans grabs the position, though, off of turn 4. 10 laps to go. Roosters are starting to get wrecked here. Ace Throckmorton's going to have to pick it up, get it up and moving, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, 10 laps to go. It's going to pick off very quickly here at the half mile. Can say this, ladies and gentlemen, Patrick McPeak has been one of the better folks on the season so far. He's been battling door to door, Nerf bar all year long with Michael Johnson, who will be one of our fast 2 drivers here tonight. Josh Moore's had a solid year up to this position. Ladies and gentlemen, the 919 of Josh Moore has yet to score a top 5 on the regular season, but consistent finishes have kept him in the top 10 paying points position, as well as we've had guys continue not to return week in and week out. And Ace Throckmorton seems to apparently recovered quite well with 7 laps to go here in tonight's heat race. And this is only setting the field. The top 3 drivers will receive points for tonight's finish. And Mike Doyle's got the 3rd place position. That'll award him 1 point. Patrick McPeak trying to battle for 2 points. The win here tonight will get you 3. And Zach Evans is trying to hold on well. And 2 North Carolina drivers battling it out. And I happen to be from South Carolina, and if you don't know, in the racing culture history, the South Carolina-North Carolina motorsports battle is a well-known thing. And grew up all my life going to things like Monster Jam and shit like that, watching these states battle back and forth, South Carolina versus North Carolina. Right now, though, 2 North Carolinas taking notes from one another from maybe what could take place from later on here tonight. We got 80 laps scheduled right around the corner after tonight's heat race. The 72 of Throckmorton rounds out that solid final top 5 position. Zach Evans, McPeak, Doyle, Evans, Throckmorton, the top 5 drivers, followed by Klauser, Moore, and Nate Hall, who's battling some loose end conditions on this modified. You see him get loose off the exit of turn 4. If he can keep it off the racetrack, we might be able to keep it green here as these 2 guys back here battle with the Nerf bar. Mike Doyle, Aaron Evans. Aaron Evans is going to have to try to use that Nerf bar to get around this South Service Center 00. But Mike Doyle as they bang down into turns 1 and 2. Zach Evans slowly about to catch this lap traffic car in front of him. It actually is M&D teammate of Nate Hall. How does he elect to try to work around him? Patrick McPeak might have the opportunity that he's looking for here tonight in the heat race in the Northeast-South Shootout. Well, the Northeast-South Shootout at the Stafford Motor Speedway puts on excellent racing, and we're showing it out right here. Got 80 laps scheduled right around the corner. It's going to be a very, very quick one. Make sure you tune in tomorrow night live right here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. White flag is in the air for the late model stocks as they will take on the Thompson Motor Speedway, and Zach Evans is looking to sell away with a race win here tonight, the heat race. At that, it'll be 3 extra bonus points for the number 6 modified here tonight. Zach Evans heads off turn 4. He'll win the heat race at Stafford. Coming across the line will be Patrick McPeak in second, Mike Doyle in third. Those will be the point-paying positions here tonight. Aaron Evans will grab fourth, followed by Throckmorton in fifth, Clouser in sixth, Moore in seventh, and Nate Hall rounding out the final position. Ladies and gentlemen, Zach Evans wins it here tonight in Connecticut. He'll start in a third-place position with 3 bonus points added to his total score. He'll take it down to victory lane. And that should transfer us over here, ladies and gentlemen, into the warm-up session with these drivers. We'll have about 3 minutes or so to dial in these modifieds one more time, maybe adjust on the air pressure, maybe wax it on, wax it off, get it nice and looking, get it wrapped. And had a couple guys bang some Nerf bars right there, but nothing malicious, nothing crazy out of the ordinary right there that we could call out of place. However, though, it was an absolute thriller of a race that was won by the number 6 of Zach Evans. We'll bring up the final heat results right here. Zach Evans will win it in the MND Motorsports number 6 modified. AF1 Racing's Patrick McPeak will start in 4th. 5th will go to Mike Doyle. 6th will start Aaron Evans. 7th will start Ace Throckmorton. And the 8th place position will belong to Cody Clouser. Josh Moore will go 9th in tonight's starting lineup, and Nate Hall will round out the 10th and final position when we head to the main event. Ladies and gentlemen, we are right around the corner from the Northeast Shootout, taking the green flag for 80 laps here tonight at the Stafford Motor Speedway. We'll get you down here to the track facts and let you know how you are going out to tonight's race. 80 laps for a pit speed of 45 miles per hour on pit lane. These guys are getting ready to take on one of the most legendary tracks in the northeast part of the United States of America. The Stafford Motor Speedway has been home to racing since the early 1900s, maybe late 1800s, and it continues to be a solid week after week competition that takes place week in and week out here at Stafford. Home to guys like the Blewitts when it comes to the modified. Jimmy and them and Freddie Kraft, a well-known NASCAR spotter, cut their teeth at the tracks like this. Ladies and gentlemen, you're getting ready to watch a 7-degree banking 4-turn asphalt oval absolute banger here tonight for the WHELEN Modifieds. Are you ready to go racing? And I say that wisely. You better strap in and lock and loaded. Press that subscribe button. Press that follow button. 2 more races remain after this. We'll cut our teeth at the Langley Speedway back home in North Carolina for most of these drivers, and it is going to be one hell of a race. I cannot wait to get down to Langley. The track and the action that track puts on is one of the best here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Expect maybe lap traffic to become a factor in that one. Then we'll head to the half mile at the Richmond Raceway. Richmond absolutely puts on a show, but the half miles that we've seen week in and week out that we came here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel actually change a little bit of the racing. 2 weeks ago, Neil Rutt III, our fellow co-host and race admin on the track, keeping all the I-85 Asphalt participants in order, was on the racetrack participating in the one-off event in his number 66 modified. He was able to spoil the party and pick up the win. It really spoiled up the points ways and allowed guys to really work their way back into contention. Remember, top 10 points are going to be the paid out drivers at the end of the seasons when we take the checkered flag at Richmond. Right now, Michael Johnson leads them. Adam Peeler, Patrick McPeak, Zach Evans, Throckmorton are the top 5 drivers. Zach Evans, will score his 2nd heat race win on the year here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. He'll look to grab race win number 2 as we head on over to the main broadcast cam for the main event here tonight for the Northeast Shootout live at the Stafford Motor Speedway. These drivers are getting ready to get locked, loaded, and get ready to take the green flag here tonight. You see Dylan Thomas loading in his number 03 machine. He's on the front row with Michael Johnson. We'll get that grid to you here as they start to load into the field. This was how they shaked it out. Michael Johnson, Dylan Thomas on the front row. Zach Evans, your heat race winner. Patrick McPeak followed up, and that's how they'll round out as they finish tonight's final heat race, excuse me. That's what I was trying to spit out. However, though, ladies and gentlemen, 80 laps right around the corner here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Get you introduced to your favorite drivers on the pole here tonight. Driving the number 40, Pacematic Modified, the point series leader, Michael Johnson. On the outside of him, front row, driving the number 03 from Denison, Texas. That's the Dylan Thomas Modified. Starting in the third place position, second row, the Me-Fine Modified Heat Race winner here tonight at Stafford from Princeton, North Carolina, Zach Evans. Driving the number 61 Modified here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel from Mount Airy, North Carolina. Looking to pick up a second win here on the regular season, maybe his third, I think it's second, Patrick McPeak. Driving the number 48 Hooters Modified here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel from Crawfordsville, Indiana. And he is no relation to the number 6 Zach Evans. That's number 48 of Aaron Evans. On the inside of him will be the 00 Modified from Middletown, New Jersey of Mike Doyle. Mike Doyle in contention for the I-85 Asphalt Series Driver of the Year, most popular driver, whatever you want to call it. Make sure that you get over to the TikTok channel, DM us for your vote for Mike Doyle, most popular driver. Driver the number 72 Triple S Throckmorton Modified here tonight from South Boston, Virginia. It's going to be Ace Throckmorton. On the outside of him will be the number 82 from Baltic, Connecticut, the Modified of Cody Klauser. Driving the number 18 Weekend Woodsman Modified, they were able to repatch up the number 18, getting back out here in the main event here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. 80 laps is what we're scheduled for. It's the number 18 of Nate Hall. Driving the number 919 Blue Modified here tonight, the MGK Trucking Modified at that, Josh Moore. Michael Johnson will be the guy on the pole here tonight, leading the field to what is going to be the one to go racing on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. We'll get you down here to the keys of the race one more time before we take the green flag. Maximize the points. The payouts are right around the corner. Use that Nerf bar. Protect the bottom lane. And finally, survive the mayhem, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, you found yourself right here, the best iRacing platform on YouTube. The Booty Scoot Racing channel going racing here tonight in the Northeast at the Stafford Motor Speedway, the Northeast Shootout, live here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Pace car down on the pit lane. Green flag is in the air. You have yourself a virtual race here in Connecticut. Diving down into turn 1 and 2. Nerf bar, the Nerf bar. Michael Johnson and Dylan Thomas go. They'll work side by side down into turn 3 and 4 at the half mile. Nobody's bearing each other an inch, 3 rows back. Nerf bar, the Nerf bar, side by side. Who's going to lead lap number 1? It's a drag race across the line, and it's Michael Johnson in the gold and black Pacematic number 40 Modified as Dylan Thomas gets out of the groove just a tad bit in the 03. Everybody trying to hold on to these Modifieds. Look at everybody getting big time loose, but they're able to get off the gas and control the Modifieds off quite well. Lap number 2 being worked here tonight in the Northeast Shootout live at the Stafford Motor Speedway, and looks like we got a door bang battle right here with the number 6 Me-Fine Heat Race winner of the night. Another Nerf bar slam from Zach Evans to the doorbane of Patrick McPeak, the number 61 from Mount Airy, North Carolina. These two North Carolina drivers went at it in tonight's heat race, and they've yet to settle it out here in the drop of the green flag at the Stafford Motor Speedway. No tires in the pits here tonight for any of these drivers, so they're going to have to make sure that they are able to hold on to what they got. Traffic jam up ahead. Cody Klauser has to stump down on the brake as Aaron Evans, Mike Doyle battle door to door here. Nerf bar, the Nerf bar trying to make something shake off the exit of turn 4. Meanwhile, Michael Johnson grabs the race lead over Dylan Thomas, lap number 5 of the Northeast Shootout, and he sailed away at about 2/10. They got about a car length or so in between them, but it's about 8 car lengths between Patrick McPeak and Dylan Thomas. That's the battle for the second and third place position. Zach Evans rounds out right behind him, trying to make something shake in this number 6 machine after the heat race win. But Mike Doyle looking over the back bumper of the Me-Fine Modified, trying to make something shake down the back straight away. H. Throckmorton going to try to work his way back into the action. 6th place standing right now here at the Northeast Shootout. He's gotten his way around the traffic. The Triple S Throckmorton Modified has been relatively decent all year long. He's paid out in a paid point spot right now on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. I believe it was 5th, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong, I apologize. A 72 of Ace Throckmorton has had a solid year all year long inside of this 72. He just needs to continue to see the checkered flag week in and week out. He's also had a hell of a season on the late model side. He'll take place in tomorrow night's Thompson Speedway battle in the late model stock division. Right now, though, we'll scoot back up here to Mike Doyle in the Me-Fine modified of Zach Evans. This is the battle for the 4th and 5th place position on the racetrack. These guys kind of get spaced out here 10 laps into tonight's Northeast Shootout. I think it's only right we get you down on the racetrack for tonight's first I-85 Asphalt Series. Fast and Loud, presented to you by Maynard Motors. Welcome back here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel, cranking it up fast and loud, Maynard Motors style here at the Stafford Motor Speedway in Stafford Springs, Connecticut. These guys putting on an absolute show, and here come the Northeast guys. And those guys, I mean, Mike Doyle, New Jersey native, right around the area up here in the Northeast, cutting his teeth around the short tracks in this area. Mike Doyle says the modified, feels absolutely plowing tight on the long run here. 17 laps into tonight's Northeast Shootout. Mike Doyle's crew's telling him he needs to try to angle the corner a little better, try to get this modified to turn down towards the bottom side of the racetrack. Mike Doyle will see like he'll get down on the brake right there. He'll get a great drive off, but you see the wheels turning back to the right there, just battling a little bit of a loose exit. Dylan Thomas under pressure right now from Patrick McPeak, and you can almost see the white in Patrick McPeak's eyes as he starts to roll over the back bumper in this TFR KW9 AF1 61 modified. And these guys have been absolutely tearing fast all year long, but so has Dylan Thomas in this number 03 machine. Dylan Thomas kicked off the season at the LA Coliseum back out in Los Angeles, California, led over 100 laps. Dylan Thomas cutting it really close here tonight. If Michael Johnson keeps leading as many laps as he has here tonight, it's been a battle all year long between these top three drivers on who's had the most laps led all year long. And looks like Patrick McPeak may be looking for an opportunity on the left side Nerf bar of Dylan Thomas. Will try to take a swipe at him right there, get him a little bit loose off the bottom, but not able to grab it. They'll battle down the back straightaway here at the Stafford Motor Speedway, and really thought we were going to see a race similar to last week and having guys kind of get spread out. Had a Neil Rutt in the field driving up from the back to the front, Denny Hamlin style to win it. But Neil Rutt back in the tower this week here, admin style for the I-85 Asphalt Series. Look at Throckmorton, big time losing this 72 modifies. He scrolls over the back bumper of the 00. Mike Doyle looking to make a move, but it's really starting to get scrammed up right here is Dylan Thomas. Slower than the rest of the field and starting to make something work. If that's the case, then Patrick McPeak maybe have to do something that they don't want to. Put the bumper to the back of that 03 modified and get him up the racetrack, but you cannot wreck him. Ladies and gentlemen, anybody that brings out the caution flag or intentionally does something absolutely ridiculous and brings out the caution flag will receive the EOL. That stands for end of line penalty. Right now, though, Throckmorton needs a R-E-N-C-H or wrench or however the hell you spell it. He's loose as hell in this Speed Shot Triple S Throckmorton Racing Modified. Down the bottom side of the racetrack trying to get around Mike Doyle. Mike Doyle shaking and making his way up through the field. Nose to tail here at the Stafford Springs Speedway. Beautiful shot of the modifieds. Looks like 7 of them, nose to tail, battling it out for what could possibly be the race win here tonight. The top 8 drivers are within 3 seconds of one another. You got to scroll all the way back here to Josh Moore, who's battling a possible left rear tire going down. Nate Hall running for his life as lap traffic. And Michael Johnson takes him down into turn 3 and 4. Battle of the guys right behind him. Nobody sparing each other an inch. This might deserve us our first battle box here tonight. Battle for the 7th place position here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel, possibly the race lead. Michael Johnson underneath attack from Dylan Thomas. Dylan Thomas kind of held up the traffic right there. Patrick McPeak rolled to his back bumper, was able to make something shake, didn't apply it to him though. So right now the gloves are still on, keeping it friendly here. The lights will not come on here tonight as the Stafford Speedway iRacing. If you do watch our streams, you do watch our races, please put the lights at Stafford. What are you doing? The Northeast Shootout would have been badass here tonight underneath the lights. But right now, Nate Hall is puckering his ass. He's on the outside line and trying to keep it out of the wall. He'll lose a lap here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. That'll kill the battle box. You see everybody having to swerve to the left, back to the right, get back in line, but no fault wrongdoing of Nate Hall. He'll do exactly what the lap cars are almost anticipated here to do at the Stafford Motor Speedway, and that's get out of the way and let the faster cars work around. But it really does allow these traffic cars to close the gap back up. Kind of think about it like a accordion rubber band effect. You kind of get split up, get some air between the modifieds, you kind of draft up, can use the drafting and all this and that. Ladies and gentlemen, we are almost halfway through the race, 32 laps complete. We've been caution-free here tonight so far. We do not want to jinx that, but as we always do, we will ask you guys to go ahead and drop your predictions in the chat on who you think might possibly be the winner here tonight. If I'm going to take my predictions here early, that number 6 modified of Zach Evans that won the heat race looks fast right now as he works up the exit of turn 2, trying to run down Patrick McPeak in front of him. This will be the battle for the 4th place position. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching the Northeast Shootout live here at the Stafford Speedway. We'll be back here in just a moment. We'll take a quick commercial break. No, we won't. We got one around at the Stafford Speedway. Caution flag off turn 4. Caution flag out on the Speedway. Nate Hall, Cody Klauser make contact. The caution flag flies out almost immediately. We'll back that ass up here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel, and it maybe look like it took place quite earlier than that. We'll back it up, throw up the replay cam, and see exactly what took place here. Cody Klauser having to get on the brake. He sees the Nate Hall machine, gets loose on the bottom side of the racetrack. 2 of them playing Bowman Gray in the front straightaway grass. We'll back that ass up one more time. Take a look and see exactly what happened to Nate Hall. He was already sideways if he came right on board of this number 18 Weekend Woodsman machine. He just got lapped by the front half group. Take a look. Caesar just steps around on him. He tries to lock it down, but not able to. And here comes Cody Klauser just trying to avoid the accident as well. Contact's made. It don't look like these two seen each other, and all hell breaks out loose. Looks like Bowman Gray down on the infield grass, the way that those two were beating, banging, gouging, and hitting one another. We'll throw it back on the main broadcast cam here. Looks like we will not give out the EOL penalty there, as Nate Hall was already scheduled a lap down, so he'll just start at the tail end of the field once more. We should get the one to go racing this time around, and it doesn't look like we are, so we will take at least one more lap around the beautiful Stafford Motor Speedway. That'll give us the perfect opportunity to take our first commercial break here tonight. We'll stick it side by side. You won't miss a thing. Welcome back here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel, going side by side out of the back of the pace car. Peter the pace car getting ready to make his way back out onto pit lane. Aaron Evans and them will catch up to the tail end of the field. Skedaddle them up closely. Pace car hangs that left down on the pit lane. It'll be in charge with the number 40 Pacematic modified of Michael Johnson. Dylan Thomas getting shoved through the restart zone right there. Try not to get a black flag, and whoa, it's kind of chaos right there. Throckmorton looking to shove it 3 wide up the racetrack. Josh Moore locks up the right front tire. They'll battle off turn 2, head down the back straightaway into turn 3 and 4. Patrick McPeak now will move up to the second place position. It's been a battle all year long. Caution flag back here. Mike Doyle goes around at the top of the racetrack in 3. Caution flag out for the 00. Michael Doyle here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. We'll back that ass up for the instant replay. Take a look and see exactly what happened to the 00 South Service modified from Middletown, New Jersey. As he works his way off of turn 2 and down the back straightaway. Clipped by the 72 of Throckmorton. Throckmorton sends him ass first into the outside safer barrier. We'll back that ass up here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel right out of the gearbox cam of the 00 of Mike Doyle. You've seen him and Throckmorton going at it off of turn 2. Throckmorton gets plugged into the fence up there and wasn't playing no more games here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Shifts Mike Doyle, bam, hard into the outside safer barrier in turn 3. So we'll back that ass up one more time, see if we cannot ride with Ace Throckmorton, driver of the number 72 machine, kind of see what he's seen out the roll bar. Got off the gas and just right into the left rear of Mike Doyle. Shifts him around hard on the outside, safe for a barrier. Mike Doyle able to refire the race car, get her up and moving once more, but a vicious shot right there. Could this lead to possible tempers flaring later on in the event? Ace Throckmorton has been given the EOL for causing the accident here tonight. He'll take his Smithy Speed Shop 72 modified to the tail end. That at least tells us that we did our absolute best of breaking down the accident right there. Presented to you by NR3 Designs. NR3 Designs, a proud sponsor of the Booty Scoot Racing channel, bringing you all of your custom number iRacing needs and paint scheme needs. Make sure you head over and check them out on Instagram, NR3_Designs, for all your paint schemes, spec mats, and custom numbers. That'll bring us down here to the Home Run Cafe. 1 to go on the Booty Scoot Racing channel, live at the Stafford Motor Speedway for the Northeast Shootout. It's been one hell of an event up to this point. We've, with the first 30 so, something laps caution free, and I think I might have jinxed it by saying something. We've had a quick caution flags back to back there. Had 2 of them playing Bowman Gray in the infield grass here in turn 3, and next thing you know, Throckmorton empties the hammer into the back bumper of Mike Doyle. Ships the ass first into the outside wall. Green flag back in the air in the Northeast Shootout. 35 laps to go. Who's going to take the win here tonight? Patrick McPeak door bangs the number 40 Pacematic machine. 2 teammates go at it down the back straightaway off turn 2. Mike Johnson on the inside of Patty McPeak. Patrick McPeak has to fight back hard on the inside. Battle for the race lead. McPeak credited with the lap lead that last time around. 35 laps still remain in anybody's ball game here late. These 2 drivers battling for possibly the championship here late into the season. Every point matters as Michael Johnson has been really consistent on the pole several times this year. Several wins, but it's been Patrick McPeak all over the back bumper week in and week out trying to make something shake. These 2 drivers have tangled though this year and allowed a couple other of these drivers, to contend for race wins. Zach Evans grabbed the win at the Southern National Raceway when we took the modifieds there at the doubleheader with the late models. Zach Evans wants another opportunity to go to victory lane here the night after the restart. Michael Johnson's going to lead them all down into turn 3 and 4. Not a soul going to give an inch here late. You can absolutely smell, feel, and hear the rumble of the engines. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to this crowd go wild as we got a 4-way battle for the race lead. You can pretty much throw a blanket over the top 8 drivers. Ace Throckmorton and Mike Doyle just threw the gloves off to one another, went at it there in turn 3, ended up with a 0-0. Mike Doyle turned around backwards. How does he decide to elect to race the 72 of Ace Throckmorton as these two guys find each other? Nerf bar one more time here in Connecticut. Throckmorton gets a little bit high on the groove of turn 1 and 2. You know those guys will use the apron down there. That allows Mike Doyle to go really, really high into turn 1 and 2. He's got to regather up the 0-0 modified, get it up and move it out of turn 4. He'll pancake the outside wall. You better make sure you brought your earplugs here tonight, folks. 10 of these modifieds absolutely screaming around the Stafford Springs, Connecticut Stafford Speedway battle off the banking of turn 3 and 4. 30 laps to go officially this time around. I think it's only right we get you down on the racetrack for one more final Fast and Loud here tonight at the Stafford Speedway, presented to you by Maynard Motors. Michael Johnson leads them here late. Bringing it up fast and loud here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. 25 laps to go in the Northeast Shootout. Michael Johnson leads them here late. It's anybody's ball game. Don't forget, folks, Patrick McPeak has been really quick on the long run in the back half of these races. Dylan Thomas, Zach Evans, 2 teammates, known for saving tire on the long run. Do they have any Hoosiers left to go run down these front 2 teammates of AF1 Racing's Michael Johnson and Patrick McPeak? They're pretty much dominated on the year, but these 4 drivers you see on your screen right now, every single one of them have a race win on the year, so nobody's really going to spare each other an inch, knowing that every point's going to matter, with the points paying out a couple weeks from now. And Aaron Evans looking for an opportunity to try to gain his way back up the point stand and get a little bit more money back in his wallet when we open up the bank account here a couple weeks from now. 22 laps to go at the Stafford Motor Speedway. Battle for the race lead, not really showing much signs of any competition. Patrick McPeak in that second place position trying to run down Michael Johnson. Dylan Thomas doing more of the work than McPeak's doing right now. Maybe McPeak, knowing 22 laps, now 21 is a little bit good. Half-mile racetrack, that's a lot of laps. I'm not the greatest at math. I went to public school. We'll see how things work out here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel as the 0-3 of Dylan Thomas works his way down here. The Northeast Shootout. Dylan Thomas comes far away from the Northeast. Denison, Texas, where it's hot during the day and cold at night, but everything's bigger in Texas. And let me tell you something, I saw a couple of hotties out there at the 0-3 trailer, and if they came from Texas, it explains everything. Ladies and gentlemen, Dylan Thomas, Zach Evans, work Nerf bar for M&D Motorsports, trying to run down these front half guys. Right now, Zach Evans battling some right rear handling conditions as he's loose off the exit of turn 4. We'll check the leader's lap time to compare it to Patrick McPeak's second place spot, comparing this lap around with 17 laps to go. Next time, Patrick McPeak will turn at 18.950. It'll be 18.90 as it updates that last time around. Patrick McPeak will turn 18.90 to an 18.7 of the race leaders. Michael Johnson, Dylan Thomas runs an 18.85. He's a smidge faster than the car in front of him, and Patrick McPeak will check it this time. Does he got a little bit more speed? No, he's a little bit slower. Zach Evans comes across the line at an 18.856. He leads probably the next closest, fastest one to the guys in front of him. That is the Michael Johnson machine. That is about 8 car lengths leading over the Patrick McPeak machine. Three-way battle for the second place position. Michael Johnson selling away with possibly what could be the race win here tonight. We have to continue to see how these guys elect to want to race each other. I don't blame them for, letting Michael Johnson sell away and battle hard and possibly waste all the tires that he's got, but he's now moved up to a 1.7 second lead as you watch the battle run down for the first place position. Patrick McPeak could be a little bit slower than the guys behind him like Dylan Thomas and could be holding up the traffic, but you got to do what you have to do when it's less than 20 laps to go and you're fighting for each and every single position that you see these guys battle for here on your screen. Zach Evans, though, has been the king all year long of playing the patient, playing the long run game, similar to like Ryan Blaney on Sundays in NASCAR. Zach Evans comes out of nowhere, tends to get it done week in, week out. Ace Throckmorton now trying to get around this Aaron Evans machine. This is the battle for the fifth place position. Aaron Evans ain't going to just move over for Ace Throckmorton, especially after seeing what happened just a moment ago with Throckmorton and Doyle. We're now 12 laps to go here in the night's Northeast Shootout at the Stafford Motor Speedway. These guys got to get it up and move in battle for the third place position, Only 2 caution flags so far here tonight with 10 laps to go this next time around, if I'm not mistaken. Do not want to jinx it. Michael Johnson has been absolutely excellent all night long, leading majority of the laps here tonight. He's set on the pole. He's led 67 of them bad puppies. Heading across the line this time around, 10 laps to go for Michael Johnson. He just needs to be absolutely smooth here in the closing laps. As he looked in the rearview mirror, sees the battle for the second place position heating up. Patrick McPeak under attack from Dylan Thomas from Denison, Texas. This is going to be a damn good one. Look at Zach Evans taking on the outside line. Dylan Thomas is going to try everything, and he knows in his notebook to get around this. AF1 Racing 61 of Patty McPeak applies the bumper through turns 1 and 2. They'll head down the back straightaway. This is only the battle for the second place position, but if we could get a caution flag here late, any position matters. Every point matters. With the points paying out 2 weeks from now, Dylan Thomas puts the bumper to the back of the SP61 modified door, bangs him off turn 2. Nerf bar slam for the second place position, and Thomas will grab the second place position over McPeak. Now Zach Evans, looking to plug the hole that quickly, folks. You get beat and banged out of the bottom. It was one of our keys of the race here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Use that Nerf bar appropriately. Patrick McPeak's gone backwards now. He'll lose 2 spots after Dylan Thomas uses that front green Nerf bar. That'll leave us with 5 laps to go here in the Northeast Shootout for Michael Johnson. Heading down the back straightaway now, getting ready to dive it down into turn 3. Dylan Thomas will now have to put together 2.6 second gap margin in 5 laps here at Stafford. We've seen greater things here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. This one would be immaculate if he could grab it and get it done. But Zach Evans, that teammate of his right behind him, is going to want more here late. Points mattering all when it's said and done. It doesn't matter who your teammate is. Me Fine Modified on the bottom side of Zach Evans won the heat race earlier tonight. He wants more here late, battling hard for the second place position. Patrick McPeak grabs a Nerf bar that he didn't want to the back of that 61, and he absolutely lost his momentum on the outside groove here tonight. We told you, folks, you did not want to get moved out of the bottom line. It get moved up into the rough area of this nostalgic, historic racetrack here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. 3 laps to go here tonight. Michael Johnson selling away with it. 2.4 seconds now is the gap between him and second place driver Dylan Thomas. One goes around on the top of the racetrack. It's Nate Hall. Caution flag comes out. Are you kidding? Nate Hall goes around in turn 3 when you thought it was over. Michael Johnson going to have to fight off an overtime restart. We'll back that ass up here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel to even see what took place. Nate Hall trying to get out of the way of the race leaders behind him. Well, not even the leaders, just guys on the lead lap like Dylan Thomas, and gets in here to turn 3 and 4, gets into the marbles, goes around at the top of the racetrack, and you see all the marbles just plugged up there. Nate Hall goes around on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. We'll ride out the front row bar. This gets into turn 1. You see the car step out on him here, and has to lock it down on the brake, and he's parked it here like a protester at the top side of turn 3 and 4. Nate Hall swings out a caution flag after battling some handling conditions here. We talked about the tire wear possibly being an issue here late tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel, but right, unfortunately, where it has fallen is a killer. Pull up tonight's race recap as we work the overtime, ladies and gentlemen. Michael Johnson, your race leader. We're working our third caution flag here tonight for the 11th caution flag lap. 2 different lead changes between Michael Johnson and Patrick McPeak. However, though, folks, we'll run it around like this. 2 attempts at the green, white, checkered overtime on the Booty Scoot Racing channels, how it is and how it always will be. However, folks, if these guys get all the way back around and get the white flag, the next flag will end the race. It'll be the checkered flag. It'll be the first person back to the checkered flag that wins the race. However, there is no intentionally wrecking for the win here inside of the I-85 Asphalt Series WHELEN Modified Division. However, if these drivers cannot get it completed this first time around and they wreck before receiving the white flag, we will re-rack them for one more opportunity at the Northeast Shootout overtime. However, though, lights are off on top of the base car here tonight in the overtime. Peter will hang that left on the pit lane. Michael Johnson thought he had one in the books. It's going to cost him in overtime. Door to door with Dylan Thomas. Green flag back in the air here in the Northeast Shootout. Johnson, Thomas, Evans, McPeak battle out the top 4 position, but Zach Evans wants more. He gets the 3rd place spot. North bar, the north bar, off the dirt, turn 2, down the back straightaway into turn 3. Thomas will have one more opportunity. His white flag is in the air for Michael Johnson here at the Northeast Shootout at the Stafford Motor Speedway. Texas versus North Carolina. Who's going to get it, folks? Heading off the back straightaway, the exit of turn 2. Evans bangs with McPeak. Dylan Thomas will roll it down into 3 and 4 for the final time here tonight. He'll get to the back bumper of Michael Johnson, but it won't be enough. Johnson will win it here tonight at Stafford. Michael Johnson wins it on the Booty Scoot Racing channel here tonight on the Stafford Motor Speedway Northeast Shootout. An absolutely dominating performance for AF1 Racing. He'll lead 81 laps, including the overtime finish right there. What a finish and a race for the number 40 Pacematic Modified of Michael Johnson. Dylan Thomas will lead 1 lap here late. He'll bring home the 2nd place position. Zach Evans will bring home 3rd. McPeak will bring home 4th, followed by Aaron Evans, who will bring home 5th from Crawfordsville, Indiana. That'll be your top 5 drivers here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Michael Johnson will take it down onto victory lane, and looks like everybody else will either go park it or come grab a pit road interview or a victory lane interview. We'll be back here in just a moment. Michael Johnson wins it here tonight at the Northeast Shootout for the I-85 Asphalt Series WHELEN Modified Division, race number 8 of 10. We're back here in just a moment. Don't stick around. Stick around if you want to. Post-race show around the corner. Welcome back here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel for the post-race show of tonight's modified race for the I-85 Asphalt Series WHELEN Modified Division. Race number 8 of the Dash for Cash was 80 laps here tonight at the half mile in Stafford Springs, Connecticut. Michael Johnson puts on a hell of a show, leads 81 laps, has to take it home in the overtime after a late caution flag there from Nate Hall. However, though, folks, we were treated to an absolute thriller of a race here tonight as we are still waiting on everybody to gather up into the waiting room here in the garage area. We will pull them in for tonight's post-race interviews. However, though, ladies and gentlemen, if you have not went to our YouTube page or you're watching it currently right now on the Booty Scoot Racing channel, make sure you press that like button, make sure you press that subscribe button, and press that bell notification so you don't miss tomorrow night's late model race. I think we go ahead and bring in tonight's winner here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel into tonight's broadcast booth. Driver of the number 40, Michael Johnson, the Pacematic Modified. Michael, you got a copy?
I sure do.
Michael, an absolutely dominating day here tonight for the Pacematic number 40 machine. Absolutely had some speed there late. We were calling you home to the victory, and the next thing you know, caution flag on the Speedway. Almost took it away from you in the overtime. Kind of walk us through it with the pay window opening up 2 races from now.
Yeah, I mean, kind of halfway through the race, I kind of started pulling away, and I was like, this is kind of a cakewalk right now. And I was like, I know I got a fast car, and I can't abuse the tires, so I try to save as much as I can just in case for a scenario like that, and it paid off because obviously Dylan and Zach were very fast, and obviously Patrick was very fast. So I at least had to save some for that situation, and I think I did, and paid out perfectly. So yeah, I mean, good race to Dylan, Zach, and Patrick. That was fun.
And it was fun to watch up here in the booth. We will head to the Langley Speedway 2 weeks from now to kind of walk us through how you feel about heading back to North Carolina. Just kind of explain how you feel about going to Langley.
Oh, I feel great. You know, the past 3 races, I've had a top 3 car. I mean, it's just been great. So I'm going into Langley with no expectation of, you know, not winning. So I'm going in there to win and extend my points lead in the point system.
Michael Johnson wins it here tonight at Stafford Springs, Connecticut, Stafford Speedway. Michael, is there anybody you would like to thank on top of this number 40 modified before we get you going?
Yes, of course. I want to just thank Pacematic, PSR, AF1 Racing. We're going to be getting a whole new paint scheme for next season, and NR3 design.
We appreciate it. That's Michael Johnson continuing to add points to his lead here in Season 3. He looks to score the championship here in the coming weeks. We appreciate you, Michael.
Of course. Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will move on down here to the second-place runner-up finisher here tonight. Big-time Texas driver Dylan Thomas had to get physical to get it done there late, but when it was all said and done, he was able to grab the second-place position here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel, and we bring him into the broadcast booth now. Dylan had to put the Nerf bar there to the back of the 61 there late. It was amazing to watch. We had the whole battle on our camera. Kind of walk us through your finish there late here at the Stafford Speedway. If I'm not mistaken, this may be your first time racing here.
No, I've ran here a couple times, and I just got done talking to Patrick. I thought I saved more tire than I did, and he kind of pulled away, and then I came back to him, and I thought, well, I need to get by if I need to go catch Michael, so I tried a couple times clean, then I started easing the bumper to him, and wasn't enough, so I gave him a little more, washed him off the bottom, got under him, and then caution came out, and I just gave it my all on the green-white checkered, and I, in fact, did not have enough tire.
It was an absolutely extraordinary good watch up here in the booth. Could not think of 2 better drivers to go back and forth with one another. Kind of walk us through what you got going in your head. Going to Langley 2 weeks from now, a short track in this modified division. Kind of walk us through it with the pay window opening up 2 weeks from now. Well, 2 races from now.
Kind of the same thing, just trying to keep my head about me. Save some tire. Tonight, I was trying to hang with Michael. Kind of used them up a little bit, but I think I had more than most, but if I can save some tire, I think I can maintain this top 3, top 4 type of run and hope to go for it.
Well, we appreciate you showing up week in, week out, proving that everything is still bigger in Texas. That's the driver of the number 03 of Dylan Thomas as we get ready to move on to the third place position. Dylan, anybody you want to thank on top of this machine?
I got to thank y'all for putting this broadcast on in R3 for the design on it. Nurse Aviator for fitting the bill.
Yeah, we appreciate it. That's downtown Dylan Thomas. He'll bring home the runner-up spot here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing Channel in the second place position. We'll move on down here to the final podium spot here. The number 6 heat race winner here tonight, the number 6 of Zach Evans from Princeton, North Carolina. And we'll get him moved up here into the booth. Heat race winner, Zach Evans. Zach, kind of walk us through your race here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing Channel. You go down into the heat race, pick up 3 bonus points, add that to your total score. That's going to look good when it's all said and done in the point standing, but just kind of late there. He was moving fast. Just kind of got traffic in front of you. Just kind of walk us through it.
Yeah, gosh, that's about as good of a 10-car race as you can have, I think. That was a lot of fun, especially there at the front, you know. Michael got away from us there at the end before that late yellow, but we were, you know, me and Dylan and Patrick were all pretty much right on top of each other, racing really hard, and for the most part, you know, really clean too. Just didn't have enough for Michael, obviously, and then the caution came out, and I don't know if I could have gotten around Dylan without that caution, but certainly I didn't do a very good job of firing off on the restart and ended up battling with Patrick for third on the green-white checkered and came away with it. So pretty happy about that, especially I always think about when I run at Stafford, you know, back however many years ago it was when I first signed up on iRacing, and I got all excited because I got my D license. I got our rookies and the old late model, the old one before they updated it and run the late model stocks we have now on Tuesday nights. The first race I ran in that car in the D-Class late model series was at Stafford, and I don't think I could find my way around here with a flashlight and a map at that point. So to make it where I'm at least competitive in a race here, it's nice to have figured out this place. Because when you do, it's a lot of fun, but it can be very challenging and very technical also. So all in all, we'll take a third place and move on down the road, and obviously lost a lot of points missing out on Milwaukee last week, but I think with Peeler missing this week, we'll probably move back up to third and see if we can't build on that going into these final 2 races.
And that'll lead me to my next and final question. We'll head to Langley, 2 weeks from now. So a home track for you back home in North Carolina. Kind of walk us through what you expect and thank any sponsors on top of this number 6 that you may want to.
Yeah, absolutely. Gosh, Langley. I don't know that I've ever run a modified at Langley, to be entirely honest with you. Obviously, that's going to be, I guess, similar to Lanier, a little bit flatter, but a little bit like South Boston too, I guess, but again, a little bit flatter. You can sometimes use that apron to get the car to rotate. Obviously, just a short little bull ring, barely on the throttle, any on the straightaways. It's almost a circle. About the closest thing is probably Oxford, honestly, that we have on iRacing to Langley. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to it. I feel like those are kind of the tracks that I tend to do well at, you know, those flatter tracks. So we'll see how it goes. But no matter what, you know, excited. You know, talk about sponsors. Obviously, Me Fine, Binks Designs on board once again. Thanks to Neil and Darianne. Happy to get another podium finish with this M&D Motorsports modified. Want to give a shout out to 4D Racewear. Absolutely, you know, great products they have that I use when I'm sim racing, and be sure to check them out. And yeah, I guess we'll take this and head to Langley.
We appreciate it. That's the driver of the number 6, Me Fine Modified. Final podium spot, P3 here tonight for the absolutely thrilling Zach Evans week in and week out. We appreciate you.
Absolutely. Have a good one.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we continue on with the post-race show here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel, we will move down to our fourth contestant that we will be interviewing, the fourth-place runner-up from Mount Airy, North Carolina, driver of the number 61, Patrick McPeak. Patrick McPeak absolutely had a stellar day going. Patrick, as you join into the booth here, Nerf bar placed to the back of you there late by the number 03 of Dylan Thomas. Kind of cost you a couple positions. Walk us through your race here tonight. You was the only one that we maybe thought had a chance to compete with Michael Johnson there late. What happened?
Before I talk about anything about that, I'm just going to say they just need to fill this racetrack up with water and put bass in it, because you're still not going to catch no bass in it either way. I hate this track. I hate it. But it better turnout for myself than I thought. It was a good race for the team. We got another win for AF1. That can't cry about that. But other than that, our 61 Chevy Grizzly Steel Structures was a really fast car today. Just used up tires a little bit more than expected. That's just a driver error. So basically, you just got to learn from our lessons, learn from our mistakes, and try and do this again. But I'm going to make sure that I'm going to put a protest out on this race, because I'm not running this track again if it's on schedule next season.
Patrick McPeak making a strong statement there with the knowledge. I love the Kyle Petty reference, but again, you continue to, I believe you may be still sitting second in the point standings when it's all said and done here tonight after the race and finish. If not, you'll be somewhere within that top 5 we know. Payouts come out 2 races from now. We'll go to Langley 2 weeks from now. Can you walk us through how you feel about that and think anybody that you would like to on top of this 61?
Langley, I feel like it's going to be pretty good, smooth race. It's basically like here, except you ain't got to run a weird line. I call that basically I call that the Bowman Gray on steroids, in my opinion, because it's flat. You again got to use a lot of throttle. You really got to use a lot of brake. So Langley's going to be a good run for us, I think. I feel like, I'm not trying to toot at my horn or Michael's horn, but I think we're going to walk out 1 and 2 in that. If not, that it'll be okay, because just at the end of the day, top 5 is where we need to be at. And but no, I got to thank Grizzly Steel Structures. I got to thank RYR Engines. I got to thank Megawatt Electric, and got to thank love of my life, Tabby. She's always got my back and helping me out. Also got to thank my mom and dad. They're my biggest supporters when it comes to racing. Doesn't matter if it's in real life or virtual. It's just a big support group that I got, and got a big support group in pretty much anywhere else that I'm at. And when I promote these races, I see a lot of people text me saying that they're excited to watch it. So got a good support system out there for that. So got to thank everybody for that, and got to thank my fans if I have any. So got to thank them, and also want to thank you for putting this race on. And I also want to thank all the guys that run in this league and putting on one hell of a show about every single week, no matter what series you put them in. I think these are the most badass racers on iRacing, and that's a statement that I'll live forever on this league.
And we appreciate you, Patty McPeak. As we have tons of guys ready to go racing for season 4, so we're looking for a bigger field coming up next season with bigger payouts. Can keep doing what you're doing. Congratulations on a top 5 here tonight.
Yeah, thank you so much, man.
Yes, sir. That's the 61 of Patrick McPeak here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. We will scoot down to the final top 5 finisher here tonight from Crawfordsville, Indiana, driver of the number 48 Hooters Modified. And just like the Hooters girls, he had this thing shaking. Joining up us in the booth, the 48 of Aaron Evans. Aaron, kind of walk us through your race here tonight, as the Owl had to go through a little bit of experience there, but was able to solidly bring home a top 5.
Well, it was pretty interesting, racing. I mean, the start of the race, it was like 10 laps, pretty much side by side with Ace, and then we got separated for a little bit, came back with side by side again, and then those last couple of laps, where I just didn't have the speed to catch Zach and Patrick too much, so I was just sitting behind, saving my tire, waiting again for Ace to get back up to me so I could try and just defend the position and get a few more points in the standings. And then we had that last caution, which kind of threw a wrench in the plans because Ace got by me right as the caution came out, and I thought that was me waving goodbye to 5th, but I stuck it on the outside. It was close enough to Zach and Patrick that I thought I could make another position there, but they were too close side by side, and overall I'm happy with tonight. It wasn't anything too hard. It was a little bit tricky of a track, but it was still a lot of fun.
You had an excellent modified here tonight. I mean, you really kept it clean when it was, majority of it was said and done with. We'll head to Langley 2 weeks from now here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Can you kind of walk us through how you feel about heading into the short track and moving up to that 9th place spot 2 weeks ago in the standings? You might rise up again here with a top 5, should move you up closer to a higher payout. Just kind of walk us through what you think is going to happen at Langley in the end of the season coming up.
Well, it's still a crapshoot. I mean, I think it was 2 races ago now where I felt good, I felt decently fast, and then I had a small accident that left me 20 laps down at the end of the night. So I can go into it and practice it as much as I want, but there's got to be a little bit of luck on my side. And as far as short tracks go, I've gotten a lot more comfortable so far, just over these last 7 races, I think. Langley is still a little bit of an odd shape for me, so I don't know how well I'm going to do managing tire heat and tire preservation, especially over, how many laps is it over?
I believe it's 125.
Yeah, especially over 125 laps. Those tires are going to take a beating, I'm sure.
Well, we appreciate it, and we cannot wait to get back out to North Carolina 2 weeks from now. We had a great race here tonight from the Hooters number 48 machine, a top 5 for Aaron Evans. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. That's the driver number 48 of Aaron Evans, and that'll do it here tonight for the driver interviews. A little long post-race show, but a quick race here tonight when it was all said and done with. Michael Johnson goes the victory lane as we bring up the final results here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. He'll bring home a win to his team, followed by Dylan Thomas from Denison, Texas in the 2nd place position for Southern Sim Racing and MND Motorsports. Zach Evans will bring home the 3rd place position for MND Motorsports in his number 6 modified, followed by Patrick McPeak in the AF1 Racing 61. The top 5 position will go to Aaron Evans in the number 48 from Crawfordsville, Indiana, followed by the 6th place position of Ace Throckmorton in the Triple S Throckmorton Racing number 6 machine. Mike Doyle brings home a solid top 7 on a rebound that he needed here most definitely for MND Motorsports. He'll bring home a solid top 7th position. 8th belongs to Cody Klauser and his number 82 Baltic Connecticut team will look to rebound 2 weeks from now at Langley, followed by Josh Moore and the number 919 for MND Motorsports. Nate Hall will bring home the Weekend Woodsman modified in the final top 10 spot here tonight for MND Motorsports. And as always, huge shout out to Neil Rutt III with all his on-track admin help from Union Beach, New Jersey. Remember, folks, I want to remind you, 2 weeks from now, again, we will head on over to what is going to be the Langley Speedway. 2 races now remain to the payout. Richmond is when it's all said and done. You're going to want to make sure you press that like button, press that follow button so you don't miss a damn thing here in the coming weeks. The Northeast Shootout is in conclusion here tonight. Don't forget, folks, tomorrow night, live right here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel, the late model stocks take on race number 8 of their season for the Dash for Cash. That'll do it here tonight at the Stafford Motors Speedway for what is going to be the Northeast Shootout. We'll give you your one final weather report here tonight. 7-mile-per-hour wind blowing in from the northeast, now 9. Partly cloudy conditions, 73 degrees Fahrenheit. Hopefully you brought a jacket. We're not responsible for your DUIs. You've watched the Booty Scoot Racing channel. We hope you enjoy.